Okay guys, so if you guys don't remember, about a month and a half ago I put out a video talking about the possible Nuketown Easter egg steps. And basically what I said in the video, I'll put a link in the description, is I said that you have to get the population clock on something, which gets the big clock on something, and then you have to open the yellow shed. And you guys, I had a bunch of theories of what I thought would happen, and you guys have always been supportive of me and my thoughts and trying to help me out and do it. But just after like weeks and weeks of nothing adding up and nothing panning out, I kind of just said, alright, then maybe there isn't. I let it go. Well, now if you guys don't know, there is a third Easter egg song which does involve that, and they basically, they used my theory and my possible steps to open it and get a song. Like, I'm not mad, I'm not mad at them for not getting props or anything like that. I'm not sure if they even looked at my videos to figure that out. I don't think they did. If they did, oh well. I'm more mad at myself for not being able to figure it out. I think if more people did watch my videos, we would have been able to figure that out a lot quicker than what we did if more people watched, because I told you guys basically what to do. We just never, I don't know, for some reason we just never thought of that. But so once that happened, that kind of reopened the Easter egg for me. I don't know about you guys, but then I started to think about it. Okay, they were able to hide this through the clocks and all that for how long? Like, how long has it taken something like that to be found in this game? So that made me rethink and reopen the case of the Nuketown Easter egg and try to figure out more and more about it. And when I started to do that, some stuff didn't add up. Now, this is what I want to touch on first. I didn't get to these conclusions and figure this stuff out until after the fact. Now, a lot of people might know some of this stuff. This is some stuff I want to go over because this is a theory and this is just a bunch of information. I could be digging way too deep into this, but I just want to go over what we know first, okay? What do we know? TV quotes and bullet tone vary. Why? And we figured this out. It varies from the number of people you're playing. Now, why is that? That's because of the number of kills. If you're playing by yourself, it takes you a lot longer to get to a certain amount of kills, which then that means the bus driver is going to come at a different time and the quotes through the TV come at a different time. Now, if you have 4 people, you're going to reach the kills a lot quicker, and then the TV quotes are going to go off sooner and the bus horn's going to go off sooner. Now, why is that? That's very interesting, and that makes us think that there is something that we have to do in that amount of time to possibly get Marlton out of the shelter, because Marlton is not dropped off. We have tested this. How do we know? Because we opened the doors and we can hear Marlton in the bunker. We once thought that maybe, because he's talking about how he's vanished, maybe they dropped him off at Nuketown and then they left to go wherever they're going. But we don't think that's a possibility because we opened the doors and we knifed the shelter, and he does talk before the bus comes. So what our theory is that we're giving this a lot of time with a certain amount of kills. There's something we need to do during this time to get Marlton out, to get him on the bus, to go to what we think is probably going to be transit. Okay, now what else do we know? We went back and we looked at Black Ops 2 Zombies Nuketown map, and it's the same as the Black Ops 1 Black Ops 2 Zombies Nuketown map is the same as Black Ops 1 Nuketown map. It's basically the same. There's some different stuff. I think I'm going to touch on that later. I'm going to touch on that later in the video. Now, actually, maybe in a different part 2, because there's a lot of information. So now that we know what do we know, there's a few things I want to touch on and tell you how I got to this point in the Easter egg and this conclusion. I'm going to go over that, and then I'm probably going to end up doing a second part of this video. So, okay guys, so what I said is, alright, if Element 115 song was the Easter egg, let's look at the steps and figure out how we get that, so that we know that's the only Easter egg and there's nothing else. Because we know the sign is cracked and we can see the third symbol on the gears. It has something to do with something. Also, the guy that originally put out the video on how to do the steps of the third Easter egg song he originally said that you had to get a nuke. So now that I think about it, that makes me think he probably did watch my video about the possible steps, but that's whatever. Anyways, so you don't have, but now we have found out you don't have to have a nuke to play the Element 115 song. It could be any power up. So that's still that makes me think that's not it. There's more to it. There's more stuff we can do. It's not done yet. Also, something I want to touch on that I've seen nobody say is that on the left side of the map, the sign right there, it says welcome nuke, and on the part that's cut off says come to town. Has nothing to do with this. I just never seen anybody say that, and I always tell people about it, so I thought I would just share that with you guys. Now, how I came to the conclusion, what I'm about to tell you guys about, was I was looking at the sign like I said, and I'm trying to connect the dots and figure out how it comes to the Element 115 song. And I'm looking at the part about the gears, and I see something in there, and I thought that was very interesting, and it looked like an element. I look it up, it's an atom, which is tied in with nukes. Atoms it's tied in with nukes and all that stuff. So I thought that was very interesting, and I was like, okay, so let's look at the Treyarch sign. How could we get something that Treyarch to an atom that connects to a nuke? And when I was looking up the atoms, there was a periodic table, and I started to think about it. I'm like, okay, let's look on the periodic table and see if Treyarch comes out to something. And I couldn't find Trey, but Trey is also very known. We know it stands for 3. So I wrote down 3. Now, let's break down arc. I see AR. Okay, I look it up. Its element is argon. It's number 18 on the periodic table, and its uses are for lightning. Now, once I saw this, I thought this was very interesting. I was like, okay, so let's break it down again. C. What is C? C is a carbon. It's number 6, and it's steel. Once again, very interesting, and I was like, all right, we might be onto something. I look up H. H is hydrogen. It's number 1. It's also very tied into nuclear weapons and stuff like that. And something very interesting about this, if you guys remember, one of Marlton's quotes in the bunker says something about a hydrobolic chamber. I can't remember the exact quote, but he says something along those lines. And there's some more stuff that ties into it. But anyways, so I thought for sure, okay, you add those numbers up, it's 28. Maybe you have to get the clock on 28. We've tried that. Nothing has really panned out with these numbers, but it just seems too big to be just a coincidence. There has to be something within this. So I thought I would share this with you guys once again so we could try to figure this out as a group. Now let's go touch on something else. So then once I figured that out, I was like, all right, this is very interesting. Once again, like I said, we could not figure out, crack the code for that. But what I wanted to revisit, and something that I feel like we have skipped, is these signs over here. Now these signs, like I said, in the beginning, is that the Black Ops 1 map is the same as the Black Ops 2, which leads us to believe, you know, they knew what was going on. I will touch on that in the second part some more on how we could prove that. But now what I want to look at, all right, the Trinity Ave sign. All right, Trinity Ave, if you guys can see it, it says 6066. All right, what is Trinity? It looks it up. Most people probably know this by now, but it's the code name for the first detonation of a nuclear device. I said, okay, let's try to figure out what 6066 is. And the top search for 6066 comes up with, one of the top searches is aluminum alloy. And I don't know if you guys know what that is, but that is used in bike wheels and bike handlebars. And once I saw that, I'm like, oh wow, because if you guys don't remember, we thought the first step on the sign was the bikes. It looks just like the bikes that are in the garage that are on the white piece of wood. Why is there a white piece of wood there? Very interesting. I wanted to share that with you guys. Now, this sign is also very interesting. It says Latchkey 5824, and as you guys know, there is no road right there. There's a sign for it, but there's no road. Why is there a sign for a place where there's no road? Okay, so you look up the definition of latchkey. It's a key for an outside door or gate, or it could also be a child returning from school, parents at work. Now, they could both fit. It could be a key to that bunker, or it could be, you know, the school buses are there, so the kids return from school. You know, it's based around that. It could tie in both of them, but I'm really looking at the first one, the key for an outside door gate, which would be the bunker. Now the number is 5824. Could not figure out exactly crack that code. I've tried to convert it to like numbers, and one thing that did come up, the best lead that I had for it was a FICE code. FICE code was used for schools. It's a school code. Other than that, I don't think there was any schools that had 5824, and I can't really crack it. I've tried to put it into how we could use it for the population and the yellow shed, and I just can't figure it out. But this video is getting a little long. I'm going to wrap it up right here, guys. I'm going to get into part 2. I'll probably release part 2 in like a day or so after this one, so you guys let me know what you guys think. Like I said, once again, I could be digging way too deep into this, or there could be something there, so I want to see what you guys think. I have like I said, once again, I have more evidence. It's just not enough time. I really do think there's an Easter egg. I'm gonna release some more videos and hopefully prove you guys right. But what's it called? If you're not a sub, just sub right now so you get this information right away. And then all my subs, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to comment and like. And part 2 will come in a day or so. Talk to you guys then. Peace.